Millionaire visits his ex-wife after 5 years. His one gesture broke her silence. 5 long years had passed since Daniel, a self-made millionaire, walked out of Emily's life. Their marriage had crumbled under the weight of success, pride, and silence. Emily had been the one who supported him when he had nothing, but when fame and fortune came, so did arrogance. She never asked for anything. Just his time, his heart. But one morning, out of nowhere, Daniel stood again at her doorstep. His suit was immaculate, his car glistened like his fortune, but his eyes carried a storm of regret. Emily froze, clutching the door frame. Why was he here after all these years? And when he finally reached into his coat pocket, what he pulled out brought tears to her eyes, and broke the silence she had held for half a decade. Daniel Mitchell had everything the world could offer: luxury cars, fame, and a multi-million-dollar company that bore his name. Yet, behind every headline of success lay a quiet truth: he was utterly alone. 5 years ago, he had chosen ambition over love, walking away from the only woman who had believed in him when the world laughed at his dreams. Emily wasn't just his wife, she was his foundation. She worked 2 jobs to help him start his first venture. But when his business flourished, Daniel changed. He started seeing her as a reminder of his humble past rather than his partner. Now, standing outside her small suburban home, Daniel's heart raced for the first time in years. He had thought success would numb his guilt, but it hadn't. Every late night, every empty mansion dinner echoed with her voice. When Emily opened the door, time seemed to freeze. Her eyes widened, shock mixing with pain. "Daniel?" she whispered. He smiled weakly, unsure if he even had the right to say her name. The air between them was thick with memories, some beautiful, others unbearable. I just wanted to see how you're doing," he stammered. She folded her arms. "After 5 years? Why now?" He couldn't answer immediately. His voice trembled. "Because I finally realized what I lost." But Emily wasn't the same woman he'd left behind. Her silence cut deeper than any words. As he looked past her into the cozy home, he noticed framed photos of her, smiling again, seemingly at peace. A painful thought struck him: maybe she had moved on. Inside, the tension was unbearable. Daniel tried to speak, but Emily's cold composure made it difficult. "You shouldn't have come, Daniel," she said quietly, pouring herself tea. "I know," he replied. "But I needed to tell you something." She didn't look up. "Tell me what? That you regret it? That you're lonely now?" Her words hit home. He nodded slowly. "Yes. All of it. I thought money would fill the emptiness, but it only reminded me of you." Emily sighed, setting down her cup. "You hurt me, Daniel. When you walked away, I stopped believing in love. I had to rebuild myself from nothing, emotionally and financially." Daniel's eyes glistened. "I know I can't undo the past. But I never stopped loving you." Her silence deepened. But behind her calmness, memories replayed, of late nights, laughter, promises. She wanted to hate him, but the sincerity in his eyes disarmed her. He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. "This isn't an engagement ring," he said softly. "It's the ring you pawned to pay my first rent. The one I bought back." Tears welled in her eyes. She remembered that ring vividly, the sacrifice, the hope. "You kept it?" Daniel nodded. "I've kept it all these years. As a reminder of who made me who I am." For the first time, Emily's voice broke. "You don't get to just show up and make me feel again, Daniel." He whispered, "I didn't come to make you feel anything. I came to say thank you." The silence that followed was heavier than words. Emily looked down at the small box, her heart torn between anger and affection. Then Daniel pulled out one more thing, a folded envelope. "I started a foundation," he said. "In your name. For women who sacrifice their dreams for others' success. It's called the Emily Hope Foundation." Her lips parted in shock. "You did what?" He smiled faintly. "I realized the world celebrates men like me but forgets the women who stood behind them. You taught me what real strength is." Tears finally streamed down her cheeks. For years, she'd buried her pain, convincing herself she'd moved on. But this gesture, this acknowledgement of her worth, broke the wall she had built. She stepped closer, her voice trembling. "You didn't have to do that." "I had to," he said softly. "It's the least I can do for the woman who believed in me before I did." Emily looked into his eyes, searching for the arrogance that once defined him, but it was gone. What she saw instead was a man humbled by life and love. After a long pause, she whispered, "Thank you, Daniel." He nodded, knowing that forgiveness wasn't guaranteed, but her words were enough. As he turned to leave, Emily called out, "Would you like to stay for tea?" He froze, then smiled. It wasn't reconciliation, not yet, but it was a beginning. Outside, the rain began to fall softly, washing away 5 years of silence. Sometimes, love doesn't end, it just waits for the right moment to heal. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more emotional stories that remind us of the power of forgiveness and second chances.